Hey everyone, it's Nick and Eric, and we are back from the beautiful Pacific Northwest in our second race of 2023 at The Ridge. This is one of the cleanest races we've ever run, but don't worry, our esteemed judges, Sean and Tom, don't have any issues entertaining themselves.
Hella sweet, something we've noticed all year long. Lots of returning teams coming back with better and better themes. Speedy Frogzales had these frog suits.
The Jive Turkeys were back with their same tercel, but a new bowling theme.
Tata's on a rampage. Now, we've seen this rampage / Plymouth scamp before, but this time they rearranged their roster to have an all-female driver lineup, so they rechristened the team Tata's on a Rampage.
The Shelton High School alumni racing team was back in their Toyota Paseo and their Lumberjack theme.
Team Wankler had their RX-7. Now, many people know that the triangular-ish rotor in a Mazda Wankel is basically a Dorito, so these guys leaned into it as a theme.
Jeep Tricks was there, and an excellent Barbie Jeep theme.
Loose Nuts are a mainstay of great theming in the Pacific Northwest. This year, the original team moved to Tennessee and promptly won Halloween Meets Gasoline at their first race at NCM, but some team members stayed behind in the Pacific Northwest and became Loose Nuts PNW. We're glad to report the theme game is still strong.
Then there was Otaku Racing. This is just their second Lemons race, and I guess this is some kind of anime theme?
Says here, otaku is a young person who's obsessed with computers or particular aspects of popular culture to the detriment of their social skills.
Well, there you go.
Rogue Squadron keeps adding to their Star Wars theme every time we see them, almost as if Disney and Lucasfilm are shamelessly cranking out Star Wars properties without regard to relevance or previous installments, repetitiveness, quality, the sanity of any human being that may or may not have once considered Star Wars a fan piece, but is now so utterly overwhelmed with the
Hey, is that supposed to be Jar Jar?
Oh yeah, guess it is.
Lisa called Jar Jar Binks.
The Mopar Posers were back with their Dodge Intrepid and a brand new Dungeons & Dragons theme.
Yet another returning team, Fast, It's Not For Everyone. Now, we've seen the Smokey and the Bandit theme done to death, but this is the first time we've ever seen it on a Rabbit, and gotta say, proportions look pretty great.
Low Road Racing was there in their 47 Chevy Style Master, but they added a great Christmas Story theme from the movie. They had the leg lamp, the Christmas tree on the roof, and Ralphie with the hubcap full of lug nuts. Oh, fudge.
Boeing 737 Min have had a solid idea of basing their theme on nearby Boeing in Renton, Washington, and dressing their Subaru up as, instead of a 737 MAX, a 737 Min. That was pretty good for a while, but they decided to step it up with an Airplane the Movie theme. Why have you not thought of that yet? And now they've got a flight attendant serving chicken or fish, they've got Otto the Autopilot, and my personal favorite, Sweaty Ted Stryker.
And then there was Taco Cat Race Car, which had a great paint scheme on their car, taco outfits, and cat tacos as a bribe.
Taco Cat Race Car? I don't get it.
Taco Cat Race Car backward is Race Car Taco Cat.
Oh. So those were the returning teams with good themes, but we also have new teams with great themes, and we love that. We'll start with Power Wankers and their BMW E90. Just a quick note on E90s, this is a car that has pretty much become a Lemons car overnight, and it has followed the path of BMW that we have seen happen with the E36 and E46 during Lemons' lifetime. Goes like this.
Phase 1, under warranty. Phase 2, out of warranty and worth 1/5 purchase price and will cost your entire income to keep running. Phase 3, pick and pull.
That takes about 10 to 15 years from beginning to end for all three phases, so F30, we'll be seeing you soon. Anyway, after 0 E90s ever, we've now had a few of them in a short span, and these guys came with an excellent Power Wankers theme on top of it.
Another rookie team, the multiple Marios of 1UP Racing.
And the multiple Stigs of Team Top Gear.
The Jürgens Feuerwehr Auto BMW E30 had a couple of sexy firemen. I think their team name is German for sexy firemen.
And lastly, there was spontaneous combustion with their Ford Focus, who were beavers. Beavers?
So, we had a bunch of returning teams with great themes and a bunch of new teams with great themes. The main thing about Lemons is old teams and new teams becoming friends at the track.
We buried the lead a little bit on the Barbie Jeep. In addition to the Barbie outfits, their XJ Cherokee featured the minor update of a mid-engine conversion featuring a turbo Volvo 5-cylinder drivetrain. There's obviously a lot going on there. Look for this car to be featured in a future Lemons World episode.
We haven't seen the Team Radioactive Chevy Vega in a while, which is really too bad because it had one of the more memorable Lemons debuts.
I'm burning, I gotta...
It's the roll.
He does a slight Miami Vice roll, man.
Back then, the car had a small block V8 swap, but this time the team had updated the drivetrain. Now, you know how some GM engines have the word high followed by a debatably accurate adjective? You know, like high technology or high value. Team Radioactive decided to go with the latest in that long tradition with the high feature V6. This engine has shown up in everything from Saabs to Opels to Buicks to Cadillacs to Holdens to GMCs to Pontiacs to Saturns to Chevys to Suzukis to Daewoo's. And when something shows up everywhere, you know it must be good. Some of the details of this build look maybe a little bit less Penske Racing and more Home Depot, but somehow it all worked, and their performance this time was a lot better than the last time when they...
Hella sweet Mitsuoka Vute. This is the second race with the Mitsuoka Vute, and it wasn't any less great than the first time. As you might expect, the Vute community in the United States is a small one, but Team Captain Chris learned that another Vute owner lived nearby, and he invited him to come check out the race, so we were blessed with not one, but 2 Vutes.
2 what?
As you know, we don't always make a big deal about, who won the race, but there were some noteworthy performances here. The Class A winner in only their second race was Otaku Racing. At one point in the day, late on Sunday, they pitted for an emergency brake pad change that took maybe 5 minutes start to finish.
And then you had the Class B winner, IWGF Racing, which was notable because they were actually the overall winners of the entire race. A Class B car, and trust me, this Probe is definitely a Class B car, rarely wins the whole deal, so rare accomplishment for them. Well done.
Our favorite class, Class C, was won by one of our favorite teams. This is the Toyota Celica of Nacho Friend Racing. They've been around forever, they're great people, they always bring us nachos, and as far as we can tell, the only improvements they ever try to make from race to race aren't to the car, but to the nachos. And that really shows. Nachos are damn delicious.
And speaking of winners, the awards ceremony was also host to this moment between a couple of the team members of Shelton High School alumni. Congratulations to Bryce and Nikki.
So we've mentioned that E90 BMWs have become Lemons worthy more or less overnight, and this might be one of the reasons.
The common theme on these engines is oil leaks.
The Power Wankers E90 was not immune from this, and they spent a large portion of the weekend trying to make it stop leaking, burning, and essentially spraying the entire zip code with oil. For that, we awarded them with the special award, the Exxon Valdez 34th Anniversary Spilling Oil Everywhere Award.
I Got Screwed went to the Mopar Posers and their 2002 Dodge Intrepid. Prior to Nacho Friend winning Class C, the Mopar Posers had a commanding lead until the front brakes on the Intrepid caught on fire, and really continued to re-catch on fire as long as they were trying to fix it. Finally, they had to go to the parts store, but they didn't want the whole, Mopar to catch on fire while it was left unattended, so they parked it safely away from everybody else, set a fire extinguisher down next to it, and left a sign that said, "If on fire, please put me out." Now, by the time they got back and put everything back together, their chances of a Class C win had checked out, and they got screwed.
The eBay Motors heroic fix went to one of our rookie teams, Top Gear and the Chevy Malibu. Partway through Sunday, this car's 350 small block broke a rocker arm, and one of the drivers set off into the wilds of the Pacific Northwest to find a replacement. Well, actually, she went to the junkyard that's literally across the street from the track, but that was closed. Then she went to the nearest O'Reilly's. That was closed. Then she went to the nearest Napa. That was closed. After striking out at like 5 different places, she found herself at a pick and pull an hour away, pulling a replacement rocker off of a Chevy Blazer while still wearing her race suit pants. She rushed the rocker back to the track. The team had it installed in about 2 minutes, and they were back in business. Heroic.
Judge's choice went to Wankel Chicken and their Volkswagen Jetta? Well, you may be thinking, since when does a Jetta have a Wankel engine? Well, sometimes when the Mazda RX-7 you're building for Lemons hella does not run, and probably because of the Wankel engine, you have to go into your garage and drag out an old Volkswagen Jetta rally car that definitely does not have a Wankel and race that instead. This was a first-time team, and they took the fairly major setback of having to replace their entire car in stride. Judges appreciated that, gave them the judge's choice.
Organizer's choice went to Silver Sleeves Racing and their Ford Cortina / BMW E30 hat car. What's a hat car? It's a car wearing another car as a hat. In this case, it was a Ford Cortina shell on top of a BMW E30 chassis, or to be a little bit more specific, some parts of a terrible rusted out Ford Cortina shell on top of a really terrible worn out E30 with 6 trillion miles on it. Which of course meant that people on the internet, when they saw pictures of this car, said, "Lemons is a joke, you cannot get a Cortina for $500.
Meanwhile, former longtime Lemon staff member and owner of an engine-swapped Ford Cortina, Jeff Glenn, said, "That thing is awesome."
And what did we say? Organizer's choice.
Halloween Meets Gasoline went to Civic Duty and their 2007 Honda Civic. Now, the battle for Halloween Meets Gasoline was an epic one in a really small field, which is incredible. Very well done, Pacific Northwest racers. In the end, Civic Duty's pirate ship was the winner because they had costumes, they had booty, they had a main mast that looked amazing driving around the track, and they briefly had an entire ship's prow made out of pink insulation foam. And I say briefly because as soon as the green flag dropped on Saturday, the Civic got up to speed on the front straight and boom, the entire bow of the ship exploded, spraying foam everywhere and causing the fastest red flag in Lemon's history. Worth it.
The index of effluency went to that Christmas Story themed 1947 Chevy Style Master of low road racing. This car has been around for a few races now. We've even done a Lemons World episode on it. It's got a modern 6-cylinder engine in place of the original Stove Bolt 6, by which I mean it has a swapped-in Turbo Thrift 6 from a 74 Buick Apollo. It's got Jag parts, it's got Subaru parts, it's got parts from a Chevy P30 step van. Look, just go watch the Lemons World episode for the full story. The Style Master had the second slowest fast lap time in the entire event. The slowest fast lap time was only a 10th slower. And yet, it finished mid-pack ahead of BMWs, a Turbo Saab, a Subaru WRX. But really, nothing here should be losing to a 1947 Style Master with a Christmas tree on the roof. But here we are, IOE.
That'll bring us to Lemons in a Nutshell.
Oh, fuck.
Every second you don't subscribe or watch one of these videos, another Vega is sent to the crusher. Won't you help us save Classic?